All right, folks. So this has been an interesting theory that's been floating around, not just in the comment section of my videos, but even on Twitter, and it has to do with Connie. Specifically, when you compare the synopsis from episode 19, Surprise, Surprise, and a portion of the synopsis states Connie gets some devastating news. Now, in my breakdown video, I had no idea what this news could possibly be. But when you look at some signs, and I mean very, very subtle things, you might you might get where this is going. Now, as soon as we got the first new episode, episode 11, in the recap of episode 10, there was just a brief moment where it kind of stuck on the scene where Nathan and Connie were at the hospital, with Jeremiah. And Nate mentioned, like, hey, you got a bald spot. What happened to your hair? And, if you watch the episode, Connie says, oh, that it must have it must have like got pulled out when I tried to get Zach all Jeremiah, because that was plausible. I mean, it was believable. I didn't think twice about it, because if you go back and look at the way Zach wasn't just beating down Jeremiah, but was literally tossing anyone who tried to like get him off his brother, I wouldn't have put it past him to say that in that scuffle, it's possible, a portion of her hair came out or got, ripped out or whatever. But then there was a slight, and I mean just a slight indication of something more going on. When Nate was at the barbershop, still episode 11, when Nate was at the barbershop talking with Tony about, being at the hospital and whatnot, he mentioned, yeah, I was only there 45 minutes, but Connie was there like all night. And yeah, Tony wanted to call, but it's like, I think Nate wanted to call to see what was up, but it's like, well, no, maybe we shouldn't, because she said she's really tired and need to get some rest, which, again, I didn't think too much about it, because if she was truly at the hospital all night with Jeremiah, then she needed to get home and get some rest. But Tony said something interesting, like, yeah, she's been really tired lately, hasn't she? Said it in a way like, he's really caught on to like something that's out the ordinary. But yet again, I didn't think too much about it, because like I said before, I didn't think that it really meant much of anything, since she spent most of, not the entire night at the hospital waiting for a Jeremiah update. But then on top of that, in season 2, Tony and Nate kind of talked amongst each other about, yo, you think she's still on drugs and whatnot? Which made sense, given that she was really close to Gladys and Jeremiah. So for her to partake in, drugs like them wouldn't be something out of the ordinary. But the fan theory is that Connie might have cancer, or, something equally as serious. And that would be pretty wild, because I think what would be really sad about this is that when you look at Zach's situation right now, he lost his mom. He's under the assumption that he killed his own brother. And even though they were romantic, partners, lovers back in the day, Connie was so close to Zach and his family that, and I don't mean this in an incest kind of way, but she was almost like a sister. But I'll just say like, a close family member. But you know how it is where in shows, well, even in real life, typically, there's a child in the family, and their parents, notice that, oh, Stacy's real close to Tim, because, oh, they go to the same school, or, our families go to the same church. So, the parent sees their child, interacting with someone from a young age to when they're older. So if they end up starting dating or something, it's no surprise. Like, you know what? I saw that ever since y'all were kids. That's how Gladys kind of was, no doubt, with Connie and Zach. But to have Zach then lose yet another person that close to him from his past, that's really a shame, if this is indeed where the story goes, because it's crazy to see that as much as Zach has been trying to change and, escape the nightmares of his past, some of his past just isn't simply being, ignored by him. It's literally being erased, because, this person's dying, that person got killed. So to have Connie die, that would be really, really scary. Now, I don't know if she's even aware of the situation she's in, given the fact that the synopsis says she gets some devastating news, as in she clearly didn't, know what's going on with her and her body and her health. But that would also add a little bit of context here when you notice how adamant Connie is about reminding Fatima about, hey, I see something in Zach that I never saw when he was with me or when he was with Karen. It's like you do something to him that myself and his other exes never did. So it's almost like Connie, knowing her time is limited, really wants to ensure Fatima, sticks it out with Zach because she wants to make sure Zach is taken care of. That could be one way of putting it. Like, why she's so, headstrong on making sure Fatima stands by Zach and helps him out. So that's just my input on the cancer theory. Hopefully it's not true, but there are a lot of signs that indicate that it quite possibly is. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.